Hi, this is a video to explain the functionality of the calling function in BotSL IA. This will allow you to create your own functions and develop them. Function calling works like this. The client communicates with ChatGPT. For example, when we create a function calling named Detect Purchase Order Request, ChatGPT doesn't have access to that data directly. So, it will trigger a call to an external handler, which will then query your database, API, or external system to get the status of the order. It sends the purchase order field to that external handler. And it's your job to handle the request and return the information back to ChatGPT so it can generate a response. First, you'll need to go to the BotSL IA application and then proceed to edit the bot. Now go to the function calling section. This is where we'll store the function and the handler for our code, where the data will arrive. To do this, we'll go to the ChatGPT playground of our assistant using this button. Next, go to the function calling section and we'll create a custom function for detecting a purchase order request. ChatGPT will generate a sample function that we can use. It gives us a name and description, which can be edited, as well as the purchase order field. Now we can copy the name and paste it into the function calling section of BotSL IA. Now you'll need to create a handler or some code on your server where you can receive the data that ChatGPT will send and process it accordingly. We'll copy a base code that you'll need for this. It can be developed in PHP, Python, or any programming language. You just need to be able to receive the data, similar to how a webhook works. We copy the code and bring it to the handler. Here we'll receive the data. At the end, we provide a response to the bot in text format, so it can receive it without any issues and provide a reply. The response will depend on what you process with the data obtained from ChatGPT. These are the queries or processes you'll perform with the received data. This is an example of how the data from ChatGPT will arrive. You'll have the data from the field that ChatGPT captures, in this case, order field. Other fields, such as the deal ID, lead ID, or contact ID, will also be available if you want to process something in Bittrex using the CRM APIs. Additionally, other fields like the chat ID and assistant ID will be included, which might be useful. It will depend on you how you use the received field to process the information, whether it's in your database, another system, or within Bittrex itself. What's important to note is that the development must be clean and error-free, or the chat will get stuck without a response. If you need assistance with advanced development, feel free to contact us, and we'll be happy to help. Now go to BotSL IA, copy the handler, and paste the function name created in ChatGPT, then proceed to save. It's recommended to test if the function executes properly. For that, go to the ChatGPT playground and run a test. Let's see. It didn't work. Don't worry. This is due to 3 reasons: a poor description in the function, the instruction indicating the same action but not mentioning the function execution, or simply needing to clearly specify in the instruction that the function should be executed. We'll go with the third option. Now, with the instruction updated, we proceed to run the test again, and we'll see that it works. The function has been executed, so now we can test it in Bittrex 24. As we can see, the function executed perfectly and gave me the response I placed in the handler. It's clear that the response will vary if the database query changes. These functions can vary depending on what you want to obtain from the chat to process. We already have predefined functions that you can find in the application, so you won't need to create them. However, in some specific development cases, you may need to create your own.